Jai Jagannath. We are here for this Odisha leadership program. Thanks to Dr. Harel Bhatia for arranging this, and I know that he's a man who does things not in the best manner only, but also the best things in the best manner. And that's what I've been seeing as a friend of him since long, almost close to 30 years. Sustainability has become an issue globally. One of our known person, Tom Peter King, has come up with a wonderful work. Those who are teachers here would be knowing the untold story about the global system, the Earth. And this is a special one published by Bloomberg and supported by 3 US universities. This is a little bit thick book, as we are not used to, go through the books these days. A 900 pages book seems to be thick. So that's a thick book published 2023. It covers many aspects. We had a discussion long in cancers about, what are the dimensions of sustainability. I put across certain dimensions. For example, we think that only environmental sustainability is something we need to take care of. The fortune companies who have actually died down, and there are many companies, you will understand that, the public sector Bureau of Public Enterprise, Bureau of Public Enterprise of Government of India has listed down over the years from 1970s onwards, where it had a previous name, in 1992 onwards after LPG, when it came up in the same form of BPE, they have listed the companies who were facing the issues and challenges of bankruptcy, heading towards that. We as a teacher, I teach finance, I used to teach finance in my young days at IIM Calcutta and many other places. So then finance, we know how bankruptcy is calculated, many of you might be knowing. So bankruptcy, possibility of bankruptcy, and the factors which are aligned to that. What are those? There are financial reasons, there are managerial reasons, there are manpower reasons, there were a lot of other issues. 80s and 90s in India, 60s and 70s in China, and mostly mid-60s to mid-70s in the entire European region. The upheaval of the trade unions and the trade union movements going erratic in many places had killed many organizations. The public enterprise assessment done by 2 organizations, of which South campus of Delhi University was there, we were also associated. And there we found that it's more than 3 million small, medium and large companies which have actually lost their lives in the midway of them. Now, this is what is a phenomenon in the world. So when we take a stock about the corporate sustainability, see, sustainability from theoretical perspective is one, philosophical perspective is another, from social perspective you have, corporate perspective you have. So you have environmental sustainability, social sustainability, cultural sustainability, individual and human sustainability, and you can jot down many other areas. Corporate sustainability is not just only environmental. Corporate sustainability is the vitals of the corporate to make that happen, make that continue for a longer period. What is sustainability? Sustainability is inching forward with what you have and add on to that. You have 10 ingredients in your life. The next moment you want to have 12. The third moment you want to have 15. Like this. If you can maintain that, the growth matrix should be not less than the current growth matrix. And growth metrics should be measured in different parameters. Franklin, what he did is he actually had measured the social, environmental, and corporate sustainability in US context and some part of Europe, meaning Western European context, and then he found there is mostly intrinsic factors which are working on that. Now, if you look at now environmental sustainability, we have got the carbon criteria, we've got the global agenda, almost everybody knows now. And that's what we are greening the world, or trying to green the world. I was telling in one of the conferences in the United States just last year, like the Indian civilization during the Vedic period, our Vedic sages, they talked about orientation of the mind. The factors which are pertaining to the character and behavioral metrics of the individual. Orientation, what was that? Ya deva shuhu ya asya agnihi ya asya bhavanasya ya aushodhisya vanaspatishu tasmai devayo namo namah. This was what uttered by the Vedic sages. My estimation of the period is more than 20,000 years back from now. And that's what I have mentioned in many of my works in many places. Now if you see, what is the orientation? The halves, shafts, trees. You got an orientation of respect to that. You worship that. The modern mind, the Britishers, when they came here, they started training our minds, teaching us that you have to become a elite in your orientation. What's that meaning? You should try to imbibe something, anything which is there in the Western world, and learn how to ridicule your own. That's what was done, and I don't find that virus has gone from the minds of our people. It's still there. We fail to understand the worth of ourselves. The moment we understand, we come back to ourselves and we understand what should be done. Patanjali Maharaj came as a kind of ancestry to Atharva Veda, and he came up with Ashtanga Sadhana, 8-linked process of meditating and worshipping God. When says Narada lost his mother at the age of 8, Narada was told by the mother that my brother is there, and so if you find any difficulty, then you look for your maternal uncle and he will come for your service. His mother was snake bitten and she expired on spot. So Narad, that young boy of less than 10, started walking and walking. And then when he got senseless after evening, he was unable to move forward. He found that he's there beneath a people tree, the Ashwata, the fig tree. And then suddenly he found that somebody comes to his care and says that, oh Narada, come up, you stand up, I'm here. And he understands that he's chosen, that maternal uncle is here. And then he says that Charana Ambuja, what I have seen, the lotus feet of that great personality, I keep in mind. And another sage in Bhagavatam, it's mentioned that you need to contain yourself, you need to maintain yourself in such a fashion that you are not an element of harm to anybody in the world, but you are an element to multiply the potentials of people, potentials of everything in the world. That's what has been coined by Patanjali. He says, Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara. These 5 are the prelude to the meditation, then Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. Yama ke verse, is your control, controlling sense organ. What is the problem in the modern society? Poverty, how can it stay in the modern society? I have raised the question in my book on Vedic economy, that the poverty cannot stay in the world. 1940 onwards, the world cannot have any poverty. If the world could have, the people in the world or the managers of the world did have their fair choice of the things in the world, then the poverty could not have been there. When our Vedic sages had said, Sangachudvang, Samvaradvang, Sambho Manam Sigyanatam, Samanivo Akutihi Samana Samani Hridayani Vaha. The theory of oneness, equality. Who says that theory of equality has come from the Western world? It's not. The theory of equality is first and ever uttered in the Vedic period during the Vedic sages, Vedic civilization. And it says, you need to contain yourself, your desire. The human society is desire driven. We need to produce more. That's why we need to, engineer more desire in men and women. We need to make them consumers. We need to make you and me consumers. And the art of and the science of making people, human beings, consumers, is actually the force behind creating this harmony in the society across the world. What happens when we have the understanding that I need to have a fair living, decent living, and I need to understand how to let live. It's not me alone, it's but the others in the world who should survive, who should grow. And that kind of understanding, when it comes, that person is a true leader. Narada says that you need to look others, because Narayana, the God Supreme whom I am actually worshipping every time, I find in him in every soul, and he is there. The crying soul is my soul. The delighted soul is my soul. So it's my soul, it's the same soul. I'm having the same mind, same putin. I'm from the same origin. I'm a gift of God. He says, your hand is a gift of God. He says, your mind is a gift of God. You are a gift of God. When you came on earth, what happened? Did you create this air? You did not. Did you create these solar rays? You did not. Did you create the sources of water? You did not. What have you done? You have consumed. You have consumed, you are a user. You have consumed throughout. Human society, we all have consumed, we have been consuming. Are we really indebted? Are we really feel that we are indebted? If you have taken money from the bank, you feel you are indebted. You have to repay. When we take from the cosmic sources, how do we repay? That is the concept which has come in the form of CSR and other activities. But that's very meager. What I say that unless the mindset is transformed, it can't really happen in the truest sense of the term. And when the minds are transformed, then you'll find the viruses in the corporate corridors would be reduced to the minimum, if not zero. And if you have to make the economies, the nations, societies, corporate corridors free from those viruses of, the human greed and human, ill minds, impacts of the ill minds, then you have to have certain principle-centric, ways of living. And that principle-centric ways of living in the Isha Upanishad, which is in the, Shukla Yajurveda, the sage Jangabalka, he comes with the understanding, Isha Havasham Idam Sarvyam Yat Kimcha Jagatyang Jagataha Tena Taktena Funjita Magrida Kassasitana. The resources of the world is the gift of the divine. You are a custodian or user of that. Don't exploit. Don't assert yourself much in relation to the others. So this kind of mindset would create more of a harmony in the society than destroying the social orders, destroying the global orders. We, the inhabitants of this earth system, do consider, at least I consider myself, a child in the lap of this Mother Earth, and I believe that that should be for true understanding of human being, because she is feeding us, she is making us survive, she is providing us the vitals for life, she is giving us everything that's needed for life. And in this place where the plenty of things are available for us, we should also transmit forward and spread across the things which we can do for others in the world. Sarve bhavantu sukhinaha, sarve santu niramayaha. That's what is the message our saints have given. A very, very remarkable message to maintain a better global world and create even fairer global world. Thank you so much. There are so many things that we will talk about, and I convey my regards and best wishes to all the leaders of the great state Odisha. I have a very strong personal respect for this state. I should be sharing with you all from my childhood when I was 6 years at the lap of my mother. I used to come to Lord Jagannath, and every year I have a fixed date with my family. I used to do a Bhagavad Gita chanting from the temple, but from 2016 the temple chanting is stopped. Morning 6 o'clock to 4 o'clock to 6:30, 2.5 hours. It takes the complete Bhagavad Gita chanting, and now I do at seaside the same day, 26th December, every year, morning 4 o'clock to 6:30. I feel that Lord is gracious to me to allow me to continue with this until today. I don't know about the future. I pray only for that. Thank you so much. And thank you, Dr. Rakesh.